Three the hard way. Y'all remember that back in the 70s, the black exploitation films? Three the hard way. Hello everybody, this is Faye Renee. I am back today with a brand new review, and this one is called Three the Hard Way. I'm going to review 3 sci-fi movies today in one review. So, first, before we begin, I'd love to have your subscription. Please subscribe. It's 100% free, no obligation. Hit the red subscribe button below. Check the little bell once, and you will be reminded every time I drop another new, crazy, wonderful, and powerful video. Chaos Walking, Voyagers, and In the Earth. Let's do it. Free the hard way. Let's go. First, I'm going to tell you what was good about the films. Let's start with the first one. All 3 films had a rather unique idea, and all 3 films were sci-fi based. I thought some of the ideas were rehatched, but they were represented and presented in a really good package in the trailers. But then you never know until you see the actual film. Okay, first up, Chaos Walking. Great idea. You can see men's thoughts out in the air and their emotions. Their thoughts make a sound as if they're talking, and they call it noise. And the stronger men, well, this is how they did it, could control their thoughts where you couldn't hear them, because the other guys would say, hey, watch that noise. But for women, I couldn't wait to get to the movies and see, what are the men thinking? What are they thinking? But in the end, it wasn't like that at all. So here's the plot. Somehow, due to a major battle, as humans were trying to flee the Earth we know now to recolonize in a new Earth or a new planet, because as you know, we've killed this planet, as every movie tells us we will, and we are. So they escape to a new colonization, and they are left with this curse of sorts physically, where the men's thoughts speak out loud. But that's not everybody on the planet. But in the beginning of the film, they make you think they're the only ones that exist. Since the film has been out for a while, I don't care that this is spoiler material on Chaos Walking. They never really explain how these humans defected to another planet and how exactly why the causation of all this is. It's never really explained where you're satisfied. Oh, I understand. You just watch the movie and you really don't get it. On the surface, you get it, but there's no deep understanding. At least I didn't have that, and I was looking for that. This entire story, while it was a great idea, was just begging to be developed, and it was completely underdeveloped. That was the major thing wrong with Chaos Walking. The story was underdeveloped. It was a great idea, but no cigar, okay? One of the good things about the film is it does hold your attention because of what I just said. You're trying to figure out what's going on, and it has such great promise, but it never really delivers. The idea is great, but it never really delivers, and the ending fell flat, and a love story that was right there in your face never developed at all. It was just weird, okay? And check this, Chaos Walking had really good stars. It had young Tom Holland and Daisy Ridley, and even David Prentice was starring. Good actors, and the acting was great. The story failed. Sorry. So, for the efforts and for the way the film looked and the novel ideas, I give Chaos Walking a 3 out of 5 stars, but I would not run to the show to see it. Just catch it on cable. It's worth seeing. You may like it better than me, but I was dissatisfied with the film. Next. The next film, number 2, is Voyagers. Sounds great and looked fantastic. A super duper good looking film. Slick sci-fi, had great actors. And like I said, the trailer promised it would be great, but it wasn't. Yet another film about colonization, because we are destroying the Earth. So we always have to find a new planet, a new Earth, so we can colonize and continue the human race. It centers around a large group of prodigy-like, really smart children, handpicked from birth to go on this 80-some-year mission that's called Humanitas. These children will reach the new Earth that they've already tested for the atmosphere and everything in about 80 years, like I said. And they will continue mankind. So everything is on the ship that they need. They're all smart. They're all little baby scientists and whatnot. But something goes wrong that they didn't foresee. Something called growing pains and testosterone and all that stuff. About 10 years into the mission, the kids got hip to a chemical drug they were using on them called the blue. Well, the blue was to keep them at bay, keep them calm, keep them focused, do your work, keep the ship up, da-da-da, da-da-da, bada-bing, bada-bang, until we get there in 80 years. And by then you have let nature take its course naturally and probably have had more children, etc., etc. But for now, they were more like robot-like, and they were smart and interesting, and then all hell broke loose because they quit taking the blue. Now, check this. When they encountered this major problem of growing pains, that was one situation that you could see that was kind of gonna happen. But what the writers did stupidly was that they killed off two of the smartest characters. And they were played by Shantae Adams and Colin Farrell. And so thereafter, it looked like the ball was dropped on the story. Once they got rid of them, it's like the film, instead of doing something a little bit better to make the ending better, they quickly went to the end game of the film. And the young adults continued to live peaceably for the next 60 or so years. A dull, mundane life on the ship where, there was nothing there. The ending just blew the whole film. The ending just blew the whole value of the film. I swear, because it was promising until it got to the ending. Should have been a better ending. The initial story, like I said, was interesting and feasible, but the plot fell all apart and it became a simple plot that kind of went awry. It was like after that, they didn't know what to do with the story. The movie became kind of predictable. Overall, I would say the Voyagers ended up being a beautifully high-tech, polished up, modernized version of Lord of the Flies. So there you have it. I give Voyagers a 2.75 out of 5. Next, the final three, and three the hard way. In the Earth. Finally, I thought I had found a great one. Can you believe it? Another sci-fi flick. Now, this was a very strange and unique idea. This was a sci-fi horror flick. It was a concoction of a lot of things, Very much out there. A woodsy sci-fi horror flick. Very different. It had some really shocking scenes, and it had a disclaimer at the beginning about if you were prone to seizures or loud sounds and flashing lights that could cause seizures, they were warning you not to watch the film. And I got to tell you, the loud noise and the flashing lights they did periodically, they drove me crazy. This was not an enjoyable film. It was disturbing, like physically and shit. I did not like those parts. And it had a lot of shocking scenes. This film was so odd, it combined gore with lore, if you could think of it like that. Folktale with science. So it was definitely sci-fi and horror. And it had some spooky moments. But again, the ending of the film was just messed up. The ending of this film, In the Earth, made absolutely no sense. It was a complete letdown from everything that it had started with. It just ended like nothing had happened. It was so stupid. The story was as crazy as the scientists that were portrayed in it, and they were played by Joel Fry, Elora Torchia, Haley Squires, and Reef Shearsmith. Altogether, the story made no sense. You could pretend it made some sense with what they told you, but it made no sense. But the look was perfect for the story. It looked gloomy and woodsy and desolate. And that was kind of scary because you felt like nobody was there to help you. So there you go. Another promising futuristic horror/sci-fi film. I don't know. Where's a good old-fashioned Star Wars film when you need one? I'm sorry. I give In the Earth a 2.75 to 3 out of 5. Some people really like it. I did not.
Anyway, you guys, I recommend catching all three of these films, if you like, at home. Because we're still in sort of a pandemic state, as you all know. And in the theaters, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to wrap up and all of this. Well, for the quality of these films, Why not just catch them at home on cable? Okay? But when you really want to go out and face the pandemic and see a movie, go see something out there that you know is great, like Godzilla versus Kong. That was fun. That was worth the trip. It's a great movie. It was fun. It had a lot of fun. There was no confusion. And it was just a good old time at the movies. That or many of my other favorite movies. One of my favorites that's out right now is Nobody. Nobody is fantastic and a good time at the theaters. I'd go see that again. Hey guys, remember we're streaming now on infinitystream.org. Get the app, download it for free from Amazon. It's for Roku or Fire Stick. Check my social below to find out where we're showing everywhere. And besides that, we are starting a new campaign, What's Poppin' with Faye Renee. Starting mid-May, as we reach our 300 subs milestone, we will be giving away to 10 lucky random subscribers a $30 gift certificate to AMC. You can do what you want to do with it. You can buy food, you can buy whiskey or whatever. But anyway, you must subscribe here on YouTube with your email, and you have to subscribe at the website, www.reviewswithfayerenee.com. That's it, that's all. This is Faye Renee. I'll check you next time. Bye! See ya!